Hello, I'm Jim Roberts. I'm host of Senior Living in Alexandria. This is a monthly program that is geared for seniors in Alexandria. It's our producer and director, and the organization behind this, of course, is Senior Services of Alexandria. But it's not just for seniors. It's for family, friends, caregivers, service providers, those in the Alexandria community that are hunting for useful information and issues that confront our seniors. So we've been doing this for a number of years, but I have to tell you, today is a very special day, a delight. We're kind of bringing things full circle. I'm here with Mary Lee Anderson, the Executive Director of Senior Services of Alexandria. We've recollected that we started this 7 years ago, and she was on the first program, and we haven't had an opportunity to have her back to find out origins and history and programs of senior service, but more importantly, where it goes. So, Mary Lee, I'm just absolutely delighted that you could join us today and give our audience some information about senior services. Before we start, tell me a little personal. How did you get involved with senior services? How did that happen?
Oh, goodness. I came in to meet with my predecessor, Janet Barnett, who had brought the organization miles away from where it had begun. And I was talking to her about how I might be able to help the organization. And she suggested I come on for a 6-month agreement to help set up a resource center.
And how long did that last?
Well, after about 4 months, I said, okay, I'm all done with that project. Thank you very much. And she said, well, maybe we could get you to do a speaker series. And so I said, okay, I'll see if I can work on that. And then, you know, as we were getting that going, then one thing led to another, and Janet decided to retire about 1.5 years later, and I wound up taking over her position.
How long have you been executive director?
I've been executive director 6 years now.
Wow,
and
good.
Started.
Time goes fast.
Yeah, I know. It just zips right along.
What's the mission of senior services? What do you want to accomplish?
Well, we want to help older adults age in community and to retain their dignity and their safety. And so we find it important that we provide, really focus on 4 different areas. We help them with transportation, we help them with nutrition, we help them with community connections, and we have a very robust information and education program. And of course, this show is a big part of that.
Has that mission changed over time, or has it remained pretty constant?
Well, we've expanded. I would say that we've always had the mission of serving older adults and helping them to age in place with dignity, but we have seen a great expansion in our information and education programs. Okay. And then also, we're always on the lookout for what the community might need. Where are there gaps in the services? We work very closely with our partners at the Division of Aging and Adult Services, and sometimes we'll be talking, we'll say, you know, we really could use some help with this. And we'll take a look and see if it's, you know, kind of within our bailiwick and whether or not we have the bandwidth to handle it. So a large number of our programs have come about that way.
You mentioned 4 areas. Can you take us a little deeper into what each of those might entail, please?
Sure. Well, with transportation, we have a contract with the city's Office of Transportation to handle the reservations for the DOT paratransit program. So every day of the week, anyone really who's disabled can call our office and make a reservation for taxi-based service at greatly discounted levels. So we have about 1,500 people that are enrolled in that program. Oh. It allows them to call up, make a reservation for a taxi to pick them up at their home. They can go anywhere within 5 miles of the city limits for only $3 for a one-way taxi trip. And they can go to Fairfax County and Arlington County for just $5 for a one-way taxi trip.
What was you mentioned the name of the program?
It's called the DOT Paratransit Program.
DOT
Paratransit.
Okay, paratransit. Yeah.
Okay. And it really gives, you know, a great deal of freedom and flexibility for older adults who are no longer able to drive and who find public transportation too much of a challenge because of their disability.
Okay.
So it really gives people the ability to stay in their homes and still get where they need to go in a very economical fashion. So that's a big program for us.
Okay.
And then in terms of nutrition, Meals on Wheels program is a big part of our portfolio, and we're going to be talking more about that in the second half of the program when Nathan, our program director, comes on. But several programs, excuse me, have grown out of Meals on Wheels. We have a friendly visitor program, and that's actually what we were talking about at the very first show that we did with Sarah Drexler, who ran that program for us. That is really important because we match up seniors who are socially isolated with volunteers who come to visit them once a week, providing a really important connection to the community, because that can be just as detrimental to your health as smoking cigarettes if you don't have that personal connection to others. We also have a home grocery delivery program called Groceries to Go, and that program has really just exploded exponentially over the past couple of years. We provide a home delivery service that does not require the individual to order online. The grocery store programs all do. So we telephone the client to take their order over the phone. Our volunteers go and do the grocery shopping, deliver the groceries to their home, and not only do they not have to struggle with ordering online, but there's no delivery fee and there's no minimum order. So any one of those things might prevent a senior from using a home grocery delivery program. We tried to take away all of those barriers so they can continue to cook and enjoy their meals in their homes, but they don't have that worry about whether it's safe for them to do their shopping. So those are the two primary volunteer-based programs, and those cover our nutrition side of things. And then the other area that I was talking about briefly is our community connections. We have a great coffee connection where people gather at the Starbucks at Giant on Duke Street once a month. They get to socialize and enjoy one another's company. We do free tours of historic properties in Alexandria in partnership with the library system. And then we also have been doing cooking demonstrations with Madison, who I know you enjoy
we'll come to
doing
that in a few
with.
minutes.
And so we try to provide opportunities for older adults to get out and socialize so that they still feel connected to the community. And then the other program that we have in there is our Silver Service Card program, which is a discount program for seniors with local businesses. And then finally, our information and education programs. We have a monthly speaker series. You're often talking about that here on the show because we invite people involved in that to come in. Of course, the Senior Living in Alexandria program. And then we have a senior academy. Twice a year, we educate seniors on how our government works and how they can be more involved. And then the most recent program that we have in that area is our Senior Ambassador program. We have 64 senior ambassadors who represent their communities. We train them on all the services that make Alexandria such a great place to be an older adult. And then they get a weekly message that they share to keep people informed.
Okay. That's very comprehensive. I would ask what is left out if there's unmet needs, but unfortunately we've got to go to a break. So save that thought. I know that Nathan will be coming and talking specifically, but maybe we can catch up on a couple of items as well. So we're going to go to a break, and Madison will be in for a cooking demonstration, speaking of nutrition. So we'll look forward to that. We'll be right back. Well, we're here in a favorite part of this program. This will be our spectacular nutritionist and food expert, Madison Reeder, is here. And we've got another delicious recipe. I'm told it's a strawberry mousse?
Strawberry smoothie, yes.
That sounds delicious, sounds seasonal, sounds cool, sounds refreshing. So Madison, tell us how to make a strawberry smoothie.
So I don't usually make smoothies. I'm more of I like to eat things with a fork and a knife and a spoon type of girl, but smoothies are always a great snack or quick breakfast option on the go if they're made right. A lot of smoothies are usually really high in sugar and don't have as many nutrients as they need for it to power you through your day. So I'm going to do a little twist on a classic strawberry smoothie that I think everybody's really going to love.
Okay.
So, of course, it's a strawberry smoothie, so we got to start with the strawberries. Whether they're in season or out of season, you can buy them fresh or frozen, usually at any grocery store. These ones are frozen. A little tip, when I make a smoothie, I prefer to use frozen fruits and vegetables, as you'll see in a second, because then you don't have to use ice. When you use ice, waters it down a little bit.
Okay.
So I want it to be jam-packed with flavor and nutrition. So we're going to use some frozen strawberries.
Okay.
And I just put them
in the machine.
Yep, put them right in our blender there. That's about a cup to a cup and a half of strawberries.
All right.
The next thing we're going to add is a vegetable. So I always encourage people to
That's the twist.
yes, think
All right.
outside the box a little bit when you think of a smoothie, or even when you think of like breakfast food items in general. Vegetables are not just for lunch and dinner. We can add them into other things if we're creative. So we are going to use some riced cauliflower found in the frozen section or fresh, either one at your grocery store. You can find cauliflower, riced cauliflower, frozen cauliflower florets anywhere these days. It's very popular.
If you're out of your mind, you could rice it yourself.
You
but we're
could.
going to go with this.
Yes, this
All
is
right.
much more simple.
right.
So I like to use this frozen too. Great ice alternative. No matter whether you're using strawberries or anything, this is a great option.
That gives some bulk.
It does.
Fiber.
Yes, exactly. So about a little bit over a cup
Okay.
of your cauliflower. The next thing that we're going to add is something I don't think we've ever talked about here before, and that is kefir, or kefir, depending on who you ask.
Kefir.
Yes.
All right.
It is a unsweetened plain yogurt. It's very, very thin, so it's great for a smoothie, and it's loaded with pre and probiotics, which are good for your gut health. So because it's unsweetened, you're not adding a lot of extra sugar, which is great, especially for our diabetics, because we have some sugar here with our strawberries. So we're going to add about half a cup of our kefir
But
here.
how does kefir relate to lactose-free?
It's not lactose free, but that's a great question because there are brands that are trying to formulate lactose free options of
Got it.
kefir.
Okay.
So that is a great option there.
Okay.
So about a little bit more than half a cup, and you can see how watery it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Very, very liquidy consistency, but that's fine because we've got lots of bulk elsewhere. And then the last thing, two things that you can add. If you want it to be a little bit sweetener, and maybe you saw in the bottom here, I added a little bit of extra sugar just for a little extra something, especially if you're making for kids or if you're taking care of an elderly loved one who likes a little extra sweet. It's okay to add that in there as long as you're getting all the other components. And then I'll usually add some kind of a protein powder or something. Otherwise, this has pretty much no protein in it other than the kefir, which is a small amount.
Okay.
We're using this more for the pre and probiotics and the protein content. So I'll add a protein powder of your choice, just 1 scoop according to the packaging directions, or a little bit of a protein beverage, whatever that might be. So I'm gonna add about a cup of that. Just measure here. Take a look at that, add that in.
Does that affect the taste, or is it pretty neutral?
So it depends on which one you choose. So the one that I've chosen is a vanilla flavor, which goes
Oh,
really
okay,
well with your
okay.
strawberry. You can do plain. Another recommendation I have for people, especially summertime or when they're in the winter and just missing summer, they make orange flavored protein drinks or protein powders. Then you've kind of got like a summery orange strawberry blend going on here. The next step is just to blend. So we're going to put the lid on my blender here, and we're going to blend this up.
That blender seemed to have 3 gears.
It does. It's slow, and then it kicks it into high gear after a minute or two.
Okay.
So
Oh boy.
we will take this lid off without trying to make a mess. That's usually the hardest part. And I will show kind of what the consistency looks like here. A little bit liquidy. If you have your strawberries and your cauliflower really, really rock solid frozen, it will be a little bit more like an ice cream. So just
smells
depending
good.
on your preference is
Okay.
for your smoothie consistency. I like a little bit more liquidy so I can drink it with a
We
straw.
we should try this.
I think we should. So I will pour a little bit
Yeah.
carefully. One for you, one for me.
Oops. Let me catch a drip.
Thank you. Oh, I know why you did that. Had to get a little early taste test.
Okay.
I'll
well,
do this one.
To your health and good taste.
And to yours.
Yeah, let's see what happens. That's very good.
Thank you.
I feel healthy.
Good.
And this is good.
And I snuck a vegetable in there, which I think is great. A lot of times when people make smoothies, they're using vegetables that are usually bright green in color, which can be really great to have a green smoothie. It has a nice look to it and a nice taste, but especially for those who are a little bit pickier and who that green color really doesn't do it for them, adding cauliflower is the secret to getting a vegetable in with your breakfast.
I think I'll have another. Yes.
Good.
This is good.
I'm glad you like it. Glad I could add some veggies into your breakfast today.
I'm set for the day.
You are all set for the day.
Well, thank you very much.
Of course.
That was delicious.
Thank you for having me
Yeah,
again.
that's fine. We'll do it again next month.
I would love that.
All right. Well, we're back, and we really appreciate that segment on cooking and nutrition. We always appreciate that. And for the second half of this program, we're going to focus also on some of the meal programs at Senior Services. So I'm back with Mary Lee Anderson, Executive Director. She gave us a good overview of the programs, exhaustive number, and hopefully they meet the needs. But we also have with us now Nathan Toews. He's the Director of Meal Programs for Senior Services of Alexandria and has a large portfolio of things that he does, both food, nutrition, and the caring that goes along with food. So I'm glad to have you both back. Nathan, let me get you introduced properly. What's your background and how did you get to Senior Services?
I started working with a group called Hunger Free Alexandria. It's a network of local nonprofits, faith-based groups, and city leaders who have decided to come together and work on the issue of food insecurity in Alexandria.
Okay.
So I was working with them for about 6 months, and that's how I met Mary Lee. And when my time with them was coming to a close, Mary Lee got together with me and offered me a chance to work on Meals on Wheels and the now Caring Connection programs.
I heard you were a high draft choice. Is that an accurate story?
From what I understand,
She's
she
the only
could.
draft.
I see.
Yes.
Well, we're fortunate to have you. Let's talk a little bit about what the breadth of the programs, because I think that's a program that has been structured in a number of other communities, but the way that it's done in Alexandria, I think, is pretty unique, and it's worth knowing how that happens. Tell us how Meals on Wheels works.
It is. It's very neat. So we deliver 2 meals, one hot and one cold, 7 days a week, every day of the year. That means holidays, weekends, doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's supported by a very healthy cadre of volunteers. We have well over 500 volunteers
all right.
in our pool that we reach out to every month, and they deliver those meals every day, rain or shine. It's been pretty phenomenal, the amount of support we have in the community from the volunteers.
How do you decide to become a participant in Meals on Wheels? I'm a senior and I have a need. How do I enroll? How do I pay for it? How do I engage with Senior Services?
Right, so there's 2 main ways. One is if you have any questions, you can definitely contact us directly via our website or our phone number. We work in partnership with the Division of Aging and Adult Services, and they run the subsidized.
City Department?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They run the subsidized program. So seniors who they determine to be homebound, 60 years of age and homebound, they don't have to pay anything. They reach out to them, division will assess it, and if they're approved, they'll get the meals 7 days a week, free of charge. The other option is a private pay option. We charge $10 a day for the 2 meals for a minimum of 3 meals a week or 3 days a week, and that's a popular option as well.
How many clients? What do you call them?
Clients.
The clients. How many do you serve? What's your
The
portfolio?
numbers have been slowly ticking up since I've been around. I won't take full credit, but I think I'm doing all right.
Go ahead.
As of last month, we had 100 individual clients, which was a high, as far as I know. It's never been that high. Yeah, so.
I happen to be a volunteer, so one of the things that hits me is that there may be some of them that do it permanently and it's their main source of nutrition, food, and visits, in fact. But there are others that may be temporary. Are there people that maybe are prescribed as a medical condition or because they can't get out or whatever, or are they all permanent recipients?
The majority of them are permanent. I mean, there will be temporary suspensions maybe, hospital visits or out of town. Every once in a while, someone has family who comes in and they don't need the meals. The
Okay.
family members are going to.
So they can cancel for that week
Right.
if they choose
Yeah,
to.
and they have full flexibility as far as canceling temporarily.
Is there a limited capacity? Are you limited to 100 in terms of
No.
volunteer time or cooking or budget or whatever?
No, so the meals are provided by a caterer, and as far as I know, they don't have any sort of limit. It's a professional caterer. And luckily, we have a very strong volunteer pool, and there are no limitations on that.
Okay.
And as our client numbers increase, we can adapt and increase the number of routes and if we need
Okay,
to. So
okay.
there's no waiting list.
And to follow up on one thing you said, Jim, we do occasionally have clients who just need the service for a brief period of time.
Okay.
Say they had surgery and they've had, hip replacement or knee replacement, and they just need it for a few weeks. We can certainly accommodate that as well. So typically those clients will come on as self-pay,
Okay.
and they'll do it for a defined period of time, and then once they're back to normal, they go off. So we have that option as well.
I understand there's a new dimension you've created beyond what maybe other Meals on Wheels programs have, a caring connection. Would you help out? What is that?
Yes, so Caring Connection is our newest program. You could see it as kind of an offshoot of Meals on Wheels. But we work in partnership with healthcare providers, rehab facilities, and it's a referral-based program where they identify seniors who are discharging from their facility, and they would like them to receive healthy meals and to be checked in on. A lot of times when seniors leave a hospital, the doctors may not hear from them again until they end up in the emergency room or something happens. And so Caring Connection is a way to offer a proactive approach to check in on this vulnerable population during that time and report anything that we may see, any changes in their condition, to the healthcare provider directly.
I think as a volunteer, I think we're instructed to not engage, basic food delivery, and if there's something urgent, of course, report that, but generally not to engage with them, and then rely on other programs of senior services to, if there's a problem, or to maybe have a longer-term connection like Friendly Visitors or Caring Connection. Is that accurate understanding?
Yeah, that's correct. We definitely encourage volunteers to report anything that they see. It's actually probably a good segue into our latest adaptation of a mobile app by the name of Mobile Meals.
Mobile Meals.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, I like that. Mobile Meals.
It allows volunteers, among many things, to make observations, to note observations that they may see things of concern with their clients, and that information is pushed to us in real time, and we can report that to the city or to emergency contacts and things like that, and get the seniors the help that they need as quickly as possible.
Does the Meals on Wheels program collaborate with other social services that provide food in Alexandria? I know there's a number of churches that provide that population. Is there an effort to tie that in, or is that you meet the needs of your program and they have a different population or a different need? Are there unmet needs, I guess?
Well, I think that kind of goes back to Hunger Free Alexandria and why
Okay.
we participate in that organization, because it allows the churches and other organizations such as Alive, who are involved in helping with nutrition needs of all populations in the city, to coordinate our efforts. So we
Okay.
let them know, what we're doing with the Meals on Wheels program, and the churches in particular want to coordinate their food pantries and their special holiday deliveries to make sure that they're meeting the needs of as many people as possible.
Okay. We're going to be running out of time in a moment, but I think that the information to contact senior services, specific information, if a family wants to enroll them or whatever, that'll be published on the screen. So
Or if they want to volunteer.
if volunteers would never
You
hurt.
can always use more volunteers.
Okay. Well, we've gotten a very brief overview. I suspect I haven't gotten to the depth of all your programs and things you might like to do. Certainly learned a lot about Meals on Wheels and other things that have evolved on it. So I appreciate that you came by and provided us with that. And I will go out and be a better informed volunteer. So thank you for that. Appreciate it
you.
very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate
enjoyed
your
hearing about
help.
it. And thank you, Senior Services.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Jim.
Been a lot of fun.